What a weird story this is that we're breaking down. Gene Williams, the founder and administrator of Warchant.com. My name is Tom Lang, and you see at the bottom of the screen there here on Warchant TV that Florida's Attorney General has submitted a demand letter to, specifically a civil investigative demand letter, and announced an antitrust investigation of the College Football Playoff Committee. Like, that's real. That's a thing that has been announced and a letter that has been issued here on the evening of Tuesday, December the 12th. Gene Williams, I ask you, you've got a legal background. I do not. Do you perceive this as political grandstanding or something with some bite to it?
I'm hoping it's a little bit of both. Whenever you get a state politician or a federal politician, there's always grandstanding involved. There's always politics involved. We've seen statements from a U.S. Congressman, governor. It's great to see that stuff in the vitriol directed that the same vitriol FSU fans feel towards the injustice that happened to them with the committee and with it seems like maybe some collusion with ESPN. We don't know. So you're going to get that, but you got to take that. But this has to happen to get to a level where there is going to be something of substance happen. This is the best thing that's happened so far. This is more than a statement being made. This is an investigation is being launched, and these guys are going to be, the playoff committee is going to be very inconvenient. Interrogatories are not fun. These guys are going to be put out. So it's the first time something other than, some senators grandstanding or whatever. No, this is some real action to go towards them. To me, it's like, does this get to the next level? This is inconvenient. It's a good step. What we want to see is a lawsuit actually being filed. And that, Tom, that opens up a whole nother arena. And then it gets real if we get to that point.
So it's a CID, civil investigative demand, and yes, this is sports. This is sports YouTube channel. This is where we are right now. This is considered to be a precursor to a lawsuit. It's an investigation. Just a few things, folks. I'm going to wipe something up on the screen so you can read for yourself in legalese how inconvenient the lives of the playoff committee or their office is going to be made here in the near future. This is from the CID. This is from the Florida Attorney General, Ashley Moody. And you can read there about the production of evidence. They must follow and produce documents that are attached to Attachment A, which is a 7-page listing of all the things that the Attorney General wants to see. And as you're reading that, I just want to go ahead, Gene, and share some of the language that is used at the top of this particular civil investigative demand, which is they're searching for the nature of possible contracts, combinations, or conspiracies in the restraint of trade or monopolization, attempted monopolization, or combinations of conspiracies to monopolize trade. Like, okay, now that you've read that, everybody, and see that they've got to produce documents, that's serious language. It might be political, and that's as far as it goes. But if you're talking about conspiracies and monopolies, Gene, that is what Florida State fans have been saying for the better part of 10 days now. Produced an illegal document from the state of Florida. Just what a weird place that we're in right now.
Yeah, if nothing else, you woke them up. If the committee was tone deaf to what was going on around college football, national media, heck, I listen to some NFL podcasts, and a lot of them, they're talking about this. There's nothing to do with college sports, just what happened to Florida State and how it's so wrong. They've been put on notice now. There's something. This is a little bit more serious. It might put a little fear in them, and especially if some of this stuff was actually going on. If there was a conspiracy, if there was some corruption, if there was some behind the scenes finagling with ESPN to make sure you get the SEC teams in, if that was actually going on, then they really should be scared.
Yeah.
Because it could get to that, they're afraid if a lawsuit gets filed, there's a lot that's going to go on here. We're all hoping, look, this isn't fantasy land. They're not going to redo the playoffs and let Florida State in. That ship has sailed. Florida State got screwed. But what we hope is down the line that this could pay benefits to Florida State in the bigger picture. We're not just talking one season, one game. Ultimately, Tom, what we're talking about here is an escape hatch for Florida State to get out of this godforsaken conference and be somewhere better, hopefully one that competes against ESPN and can make them pay for what they did to Florida State.
Yeah, this could be considered a leverage point. Before we get there, we'll expand on that in just a minute. Here is the actual statement, and you'll find it interesting. This is a UF grad, and where this UF grad is standing and what they're wearing. And Attorney General Moody.
She probably said that too in her statement on how she's a Gator grad.
She did.
I'm Attorney General Ashley Moody at Florida State University in front of the iconic Unconquered statue. Most of you know I'm a lifelong Gator, but I'm also Florida's Attorney General, and I know injustice when I see it. Shockingly, what happened to the undefeated Noles after winning the ACC championship has college football fans in Florida and across the nation wanting answers. It's justified. What's clear is the need for more information about the unprecedented decision made by a group of 13 in secret that, for the first time ever, left an undefeated Power 5 conference champion out of the playoff. This stunning decision not only disappointed millions of fans, it cost this university and the ACC millions of dollars. The NCAA conferences and the College Football Playoff Selection Committee are subject to antitrust laws. We are launching an investigation to examine if the committee was involved in any anti-competitive conduct in its unprecedented decision. As it stands, the committee's decision reeks of partiality, picking winners in the boardroom and not on the field. So we are demanding answers, not only for FSU, but for all schools, teams, and fans of college football. We sent a subpoena to the committee demanding all communications related to the deliberations, documents showing compensation of members, and vote tallies, including who received access to those votes, who was present during the voting. We are also seeking information about software or programs used to record or tally votes. This process won't be quick, and unfortunately, we don't expect it will change this season's playoffs. But every college football program, including the 13 D1 schools in Florida, deserves to know if the committee is stacking the deck. I have faith in our antitrust division to get to the bottom of the matter and take appropriate action if warranted. In Florida, merit matters. And if it's attention they were looking for, the CFP committee certainly has our attention now.
So, Gene, I saw you were taking some notes during that particular statement. I have to say very quickly here, just as an aside, I'm a person of two minds in a situation like this. It's just weird. This is a weird thing to cover. So, as a citizen, I'm thinking, what is this waste of time? You're shooting a video outside at Doak, and you're demanding the CFP send their minutes of their meetings, like from Dallas. And then, Gene, there's the other part of me that is a Florida State fan who is no less pissed 9 days after the injustice than I was in the moment when we were on the screen together, that says, good, make their life a living hell. Go ahead, make it happen. And if it makes the exit somehow, some way, this is some kind of bargaining chip that can be used to get Florida State out of the ACC sooner, then so be it. But it's both at the same time. I feel both of those things. What is your reaction to that particular video, and what did you take notes on?
My first reaction is I'm impressed by her garnet blazer. I want to know if that was in her wardrobe, or did she have her assistant have to go out and get that
Yeah.
for that shoot? That was pretty good. I look. I mean, again, I know there's some political grandstanding going on, but also, I mean, she said all the right things, and I like a couple things in there, Tom, that stood out about her statement. That's, first of all, access to vote. She wants access to vote. We've thought for a long time ESPN has early access to that. They've always kind of denied it. You see it when they get their graphics up early. A couple of years ago, they made a mistake and put it out well before the committee came out with their decision. We know they have access to those votes early, and they want to perpetuate the notion that they don't. So, I mean, I don't know how they're going to get around not maybe admitting that here. So that'll be interesting. And I love the keyword she said, cost the school millions of dollars, because ultimately that's going back to your other point, Tom, about leverage. You have to be able to show damages in these things, and I think they can show damages. And we're going to get to that point. We all hope sooner rather than later that Florida State announces its exit from the ACC, and that's going to have to negotiate with Disney, aka ESPN, to get that grant of rights down. And that's the big thing: get the exit fee down, so they can go off hopefully to the Big Ten at some point. This is a leverage point. If it goes to the next step and the lawsuit is filed, that's something that's going to hang over their heads. And they don't want that there. Nobody likes that. ESPN, Disney, who does business, a lot of business in this state, they don't like that there. That's very uncomfortable for them. They want that to go away. That is a leverage. That's a chip, a leverage point you have when you're negotiating that down. Okay, cut another 50 million, 100 million, whatever's off of it. We can make that go away from you. We can get the governor, we can get the attorney general on the phone and tell them, you know what, drop this. We've cut a deal. They're good. Rather than, if there is something behind the closet that they don't want out, all the better, because they're going to do whatever they can to not let that go public and ruin. We know they've ruined the integrity of the sports, but they don't want to know behind the curtain what's really going on. So, I mean, if that's also a fear of them, you have even more leverage. And people get a little worried when they see things like subpoena and lawsuit. Nobody likes to see that, Tom. And she used that word too, subpoena. So yeah, I'm a little squirrely if I'm a committee member, or if I'm an ESPN and I really am in cahoots with them. We think to some extent they are. They got to be getting a little nervous too. So I think all in all, this is a very positive step for Florida State.
So where it is right now is it is a civil investigative demand letter, which is essentially an administrative subpoena in law circles. I did my 5-minute law course before I did this video with Gene, but it's basically the precursor to a lawsuit. If they are going to follow through on a lawsuit, is the question.
They don't have to. I mean, they don't have to. They could give them a bunch of generic stuff in the interrogatories, and the attorney general could say, hey, my 15 minutes of fame, people have moved on from this, and it's just going to go away quietly into the night. We hope that doesn't happen, but that prepare yourself. That is a realistic possibility as well. But I think there is a possibility of a lawsuit.
I am one cynical civilian, Gene, and that cynic in me says that this is for points. It's effective. People in the state of Florida in general are pissed off. I mean, my brother-in-law is a Gator grad, and he's like, I can't believe what the hell happened to you. There's a lot of that energy going around in the state. So this is going to work to that end. But you know what, Gene, if you're going to argue against me and say that, Tom, this isn't frivolous, it did cost the state a lot of revenue, and that's why they're going to bring it to the forefront. Okay, fair enough, because it could have, it should have. The college football playoff brought a lot of money to the state of Florida. And if Florida State were to win the title, Gene, that you could project out how much revenue that provides for a university in terms of everything from enrollment to merchandise sales moving forward. So that's the fight that's going on right now. What a weird time we're in, where a Florida Attorney General says, CFP, I want to see your notes and I want to see your votes. We'll see what comes of it, and we'll document it for you all the way here on Warchant TV. Remember, stay tuned to this channel for everything from the transfer portal, the 2024 recruiting class, signing day coming up on Wednesday the 20th, and team news. Everything from head to toe, including legalese, right here on Warchant TV. He's Gene. I'm Tom. We will talk to you next time.